We are going to be taking a deep dive into Rocket League's greatest clutch moments. From 0-second goals to heroic saves, we will be analysing 5 of these insane clutch moments. Getting into our first clutch here, we have the Atow ground pinch. This happened in a series where Atow's team, Karmine Corp, matched up against Falcons in the first major of RLCS 2024. This was in the quarterfinals, and Karmine Corp had a good start in this series.
Trying to bring it down to ground. Rise, serve it up on a platter for Vatira.
But after going 2 games up, things started to slip for them and would lose out to Falcons for the next 3 games, putting Falcons on match point. This now means that Karmine Corp coming into game 6 had no other option but to win. However, the Falcons would be in control at the start of the game and end up getting a goal here. But Karmine Corp are able to fight back, and we end up seeing a back and forth between these teams here, with Falcons getting a late goal here to tie up the game once again, and they force an overtime. With Karmine Corp having everything on the line, and with how well Falcons are playing, it was clear to see that this was not going to be an easy overtime. However, this is where we see Atow perform one of the greatest goals in RLCS history. Early into overtime, we would see Falcons have some scary chances on net, but Karmine Corp would be able to hold out against it. And right after a Falcons attack into a minute of overtime, Karmine Corp would get a chance to break out of their own half, but the ball would still fall to TRK, who sees his teammate Killa on the right side of the pitch and will opt to pass here. But there is one thing he didn't account for, and this thing was Atow, who had read the pass a mile away and was already ready to jump much earlier than Killa would have expected, which now allows him to beat Killa to the ball. This type of interception to break out of their half was exactly what Karmine Corp needed, and Atow now with plenty of space and a reset he got from the ball, notices an opportunity. He sees the floor beneath him is completely available, and this is where he will make the ground pinch play happen. The ground pinch, which was originally birthed by freestylers as a way to quickly get speed on the ball and catch the opponent off guard, is not often used or even an option in RLCS. This is a cause of the format of RLCS being 3v3, where the speed of the game in the modern age is super fast and means most scenarios do not allow the time or space needed to go for such a play. However, with how Atow has caught the Falcons roster on rotation, whilst also being able to get a reset and hit the ball off the ceiling so it will drop quickly, he has made what's impossible a reality, as he uses his flip at the precise timing the ball connects with the ground to pinch the ball and win this game. Hitting the ball at a speed of 117 km per hour, catching out all of the Falcons defenders, Atow has kept Karmine Corp in this series, with them going on to win in Game 7 as well and advance in the major. We are now going to go back in years, all the way to the grand finals of RLCS Season 7, where we see ScrubKilla's 0-second goal. Coming into the finals, ScrubKilla's Team Vitality would face G2, someone they had previously lost to in group stages, so this game was looking like it could be a tough one for them. But now, coming into Game 1, this could be a massive boost to the start of the series, so a win here for Vitality could decide the series. However, unfortunately for Vitality, G2 would open up this game hot, outpacing Vitality and getting 2 goals up in the game, and Vitality would only have under 2 minutes to bring this game back, and it was looking very unlikely for them. But all of a sudden, a glimmer of hope would shine on Vitality here, as G2 made a mistake in their midfield and gave Vitality the chance to get a goal back in this game. And now with a minute left, they would need just 1 goal to tie this game. But with the time running low, hope seemed to be lost once again for Vitality. However, in Rocket League, the game does not end until the ball hits the floor, and we see a big 50 go towards G2's half as they scramble to get the ball out, trying their best to get the ball to the ground. But we see ScrubKilla heroically save the ball, just barely able to keep it alive. But G2 will get another opportunity to boom the ball out from their corner. But FairyPeak was waiting there and managed to catch the ball and cleverly fake the G2 defender to get under one and over another. But even with all this effort, the third defender looked to be in a perfect position to stop this attack. However, FairyPeak wasn't alone, as his teammate K-Dop had been lurking just beneath him and was able to carry on the play, getting around the third and final defender. This is when we now see ScrubKilla's opportunity line up right in front of him. An opportunity to tie up this game and have a chance of winning now in overtime. A completely open net. Such a simple task that can make any player overthink and lead to disastrous moments for players. But ScrubKilla was not going to experience one of these moments. As as he sinks the ball into the top left of the net and will take Vitality to overtime. As we see this shot not be in vain either, as we see Vitality take this game in overtime, and with the momentum they've built from this moment, are able to take this entire series and win the World Championship. Next, we are going to be looking once again at a more recent event in which an underdog in Team Resolve matched up against the eventual world champions of this 2024 season, BDS. This was in an open qualifier quarterfinal, and this is where Kash would perform yet another 0-second masterclass. Getting into this series, to most people's surprise, Resolve came out firing. As they take the first game in the series, and not only that, are able to carry their momentum through this series, capitalizing on BDS mistakes, and are able to go 3 games up in the series, now being on match point. An incredible feat for this team. However, it's not like these games haven't been close, and with such a good team that is BDS, they are finally able to make their adjustment and start now to come back in the series to attempt a reverse sweep. With them now playing well in the 4th game, it was starting to seem like BDS had picked things up and started to perform how most people would have expected them to, with them now carrying some momentum of their own, and we're now looking on track to do what is pretty unheard of at this level, achieving the reverse sweep. Now BDS have brought this series all the way back to a game 7, and this would be Resolve's last chance here at denying the reverse sweep, as we do see a very nervy game 7 here, with BDS on one end looking to withhold their top 4 status, and on the other hand Resolve, hungry for the chance of upsetting one of the best teams in the world to move on in this tournament. This game for the most part would be a complete stalemate until Resolve managed to find a gap in BDS's defense and have given themselves now a golden opportunity at winning in this series. With just 1 minute 43 left on the clock, all they'd have to do is hold on to their lead. However, that is easier said than done when it comes to playing a team such as BDS, who can have these great moments where they manage here to break down Resolve with very few seconds left on the clock and have now tied up the game. Devastation for Resolve, being so close to achieving their goal, but it's not all over yet, as there is still some time left, and if any team can get a favorable kickoff here, they could settle the game right here and right now. As we see a very neutral kickoff come out here, but BDS managed to get it in their possession, and for a second, it looks as if BDS may be the ones to take advantage. However, as if blessed by the heavens, a rare miss comes out from Charlie here, and now Resolve are the ones with the possession, as Raziers, with low boost, does what he can, getting a fortunate 50 here towards the midfield, where we see Kash in the perfect position to receive the ball, getting over BDS's midfield defender and hits the ball to a free backboard. With just 1 defender left now and 0 seconds on the clock, all Kash has to do is hit the double touch to win the series, and he does just that. And Team Resolve have now achieved a great feat, taking down BDS, and in such a flashy way as well. It was truly an insane clutch by Kash. We are now going to be looking at the RLCS season of 21 to 2022, where Rise performed one of the greatest saves in Rocket League history. This was during the lower brackets of the Winter Major, where the up-and-coming Team Queso would face Space Station, an already well-established team, whereas Team Queso, on the other hand, were a completely new team to RLCS, not one of them having played at a LAN before, so it's fair to say the run they were performing in the lower bracket was nothing but extraordinary.
Team Queso denying the second goal. Opportunity for the flip reset from 1 to 2 to 3.
So good, in fact, they have now found themselves 1 series away from the grand finals, but they would still have to win here against Space Station, which by no means was going to be easy. Getting into this series, we would see this shaping up to be a good one, with both teams trading nice goals between them, whilst also trading games in this series to end up at a 2-2 tie. This game on Wasteland would now put either one of these teams on match point in the series, a position which both teams are desperate for to make it to the finals. But after a close game, Space Station end up with the slight edge here and are able to take this game and put themselves on match point. Team Queso would now have to win here in game 6 to take this series to a game 7, or their hopes of getting to the grand finals would be crushed. But they still have a lot of fight in them, as they now play very well in this game and will end up taking the win here to force the game 7.
Queso and a double tap.
And Team Queso couldn't have asked for a better start coming into this Game 7, going 2 goals up now very early into the game. But the scary thing about this is how much time is left on the clock, and with a team like Space Station, they were not going to get disheartened as we see them shift the momentum in this game and are able to get a goal back now, only being 1 goal away now from tying the game. And with all the pressure on Space Station's side, with the time running low, it seemed almost inevitable that they were going to score, as we see Arsenal receive the ball in his half with his teammate Rettles clearing out Rise in the midfield to allow Arsenal a ton of space, a play Space Station have become very known for, with it having a very high success rate. With Space Station now with the greatest opportunity at tying this game, Rettles is here to ensure the ball goes in the net, as after bumping Rise, he will turn his attention to Vatira, the seemingly only player who has a chance at stopping this attack now, as we still see Arsenal continuing down the pitch with no one else to stop him. And to look at this at face value, it looked like Team Queso were done for. However, there is one trump card Team Queso still has, and this is Vatira, as he is still in the play and not dead yet. But with Rettles charging him down, he would barely be able to keep his distance from him, and Vatira would eventually have to turn in here to defend against Arsenal's attack. Rettles, though knowing this, has already turned his card to the exact position Vatira will have to go in order to save the shot, and just as he goes to do that, he is in the perfect trajectory to demo Vatira, leaving the net completely open for Arsenal. However, as he makes contact with Vatira, nothing happens. Looking at this at face value, Vatira should definitely be dead right now, and Space Station should be jumping with joy as they are now back in this game. But Vatira, due to the slightest of adjustments in the angle of his car, has avoided something seemingly impossible. Even after performing one miracle, however, Vatira would still need another here, as Arsenal is still charging down towards their net, still in a great position to score, as Arsenal will opt to 50-50 Vatira, who after avoiding the bump, is still only able to get enough to delay the inevitable. By slowing down the ball here, it still slowly rolls towards their net. However, it had seemed like the miracles for Team Queso had not quite stopped coming yet, as we look back at Rise now, who being demoed earlier has now respawned back into his left corner and now has a chance to make a sprint back to his net, and due to Vatira's efforts to slow down the ball has given Rise just the amount of time he needed to get back to his net and clear the ball away from danger. With the ball being halfway into the net when he hits it, this was truly one of the greatest saves and clutches in Rocket League history, as he now removes the danger and Team Queso are able to hold out for the rest of the game, taking the series in Game 7. They would now advance into the grand finals. We are now onto our last clutch here, which I'm sure, as most of you would have expected, is Justin's 0-second goal in the RLCS Season 5 Grand Finals. This was Justin's first season into RLCS, where he had become known as a mechanical god, and quickly proved his skills to everyone in the world on the big stage, as NRG would make a run through the upper bracket, beating some big names, and ending up in the Grand Finals, where they would end up facing Dignitas, a team they had already beat in this tournament, and I'm sure they were confident coming into this game. However, the first series here would not go the same way it went before, as Dignitas would have the advantage in this series, as they have a pretty dominant showing here, winning 4-1. But with the way this tournament works, Dignitas, who came through the lower bracket, would have to win 2 series against NRG to win the World Championship. So NRG still has a chance now in the bracket reset at becoming World Champions. But coming into this next series, they would immediately go 2 games down to Dignitas, and things were not looking very promising for NRG. However, they were able to make a good recovery now, as coming into Game 3, they would put much more of a fight in, as they start off this game with a nice early goal. But with Dignitas fighting back just as hard, it was still not going to be easy, as we would end up at a 2-2 scoreline in this game. With time running low, it was looking like we were heading to an overtime, and that would be true if it wasn't for Justin, who we see use his mechanical ability here to carry the ball through the air, weaving in and out of defenders to get pressure on NRG's side, as now the ball comes back to Fireburner, who hits the ball into the midfield, and with no time left on the clock now, it would be up to Garrett G to secure the win, and he does just that.
Turbo not there in time! Take their first game of the bracket reset!
A huge clutch for Garrett G in his own right, but this series was not done yet, as we would now see NRG bounce back in this series, taking games 5 and 6 now to bring the series to a Game 7. A last chance for these teams at winning Worlds this season. With Justin looking to win his rookie season in RLCS, he would be giving it his all. Right into this game, with some help from Turbo Pulsar, Justin now takes first blood in this game, and puts NRG in a good position now to get the win, if they could just hold on now. But sadly for them, it wasn't going to be that easy, as Dignitas are able to equalize this game, as we see a bit of back and forth between these teams here.
Straight to the body,
Fireburner. Violet Panda lays it off to Turbo. Goal!
Until we see K-Dop, with the time running low, have an opportunity. With lots of time on the ball, he takes a shot at NRG's net, which barely misses. However, Turbo Pulsar is there to clean it up, and now NRG's dream at a world championship seems lost. However, as we have been taught multiple times, the game is not over until the ball hits the floor. As what Justin achieves here from this kickoff would truly shock the world.
They need this immediately. They've got the kickoff in their favor. K-Dop tries to clear. It is almost there. It just hasn't hit the floor. Violet Panda puts it a long way, and it's almost there. Justin keeps it alive. Turbo Pulsar there. Bounces in the corner. NRG still around. Justin is there for a shot. Justin! This is Rocket League!
Performing the most high-stakes 0-second goal in Rocket League history, becoming quickly known as the most iconic clutch moment in the game. Justin has written his name permanently in Rocket League's history books. Sadly from here, as we all know, NRG would end up losing out to Dignitas in overtime. However, it does not take away from how clutch this goal is. As we now wrap up this video, if you did enjoy, please like the video and subscribe. If you would like to see a potential part 2 to this video, tell me some clutches you would like to see in the comments and I'll check them out. There is a lot to choose from. But that'll be all for now. See ya.